coming. Cylinders, brake calipers back on here. That's what they look like. Now these calipers are a little different than the ones I took off. They have a little ring right here. I can show you what this ring looks like. Here it is. It's on this one. So they have a little ring here, and that ring, this bolt goes through. And the bolt is threaded from out here, from this arm. So all this ring does is it kind of cushions around this so that everything fits there, and there's like a little rubber seal. Not really a seal, but a little rubber cushion inside that. My other one didn't have that. It just had, these had an enlarged part on it that went in that. So other than that, they go on pretty simply, but sometimes it's a little tricky to figure out, you know, how to get these on there. These are the old ones, and those old ones are good. You could reuse those, but since I was changing them, I wanted to put these on. These might be easier if I took you over there with me. Well, let me see. I still haven't finished tightening this one up. This one has a funky little, let me sit you here maybe. This one has a funky little screw here that is very close to this steering rod here. So it's a little bit tricky to get that in there and turn it, but it is doable. I actually had to take this one out to put that ring in there because I had left it out the first time I put it in. And this goes on pretty easily this way. Of course, it's been in and out a few times now. And what's going to happen when I start tightening it is I'm going to use this wrench that's here at my foot. I use this wrench and put it on here like this to get a little pressure on that. See, I'm just going to try to get enough pressure on here to turn that. I can also use my hammer handle to tighten that like this. That works. So now I go to the other side and put the other one on. I'll take these brake shoes with me. And maybe I can kind of show you how all this goes. Okay. So these are going to go inside of this. And the one with the little shelf on top will go over here on the outside because there's a space here for that. And they send us a little clippy thing. Looks like this. And it's basically to help hold this in place while you get it up in there. Sometimes if you were working on, let's say, a 63 Chevy, you might be doing this job laying on the ground or reaching up over you as with the car sitting up on something. If you put this thing here, and keep in mind that this part that's rounded like that goes to the top of the hub. So that means that this pin, you see how there's a little notch here and a notch here? Well, this pin will go in like this. And then if you press that like forward like that, see, now that's in there. And now that that's in there, you can put this. Now just like this is rounded this way, this is rounded the opposite way because it's upside down. But you can, and you also notice there's a arm on each side. Well, you can put that like this, and it goes right in there. Each side of that goes on to something. Can you see that right there? And then you sort of get that into place. And you push that in so that little peggy thing. Might be better if that little peggy thing was facing the other way, so let's take it off of there. And let's put it on like this. Let's try that. See if that works better. And now we can, when we put this on here, we can set that down in there and see how this goes in that hole there. Just push it into that hole right here. Now that's holding that in there. Catch that, and then this one will go like this right here, except it's backwards. And so that little shelf goes up on top of this, and that kind of holds that in there like that. And now with them like that, you can put them onto the wheel and put them over that disc. This is a little bit difficult, but not too much so if you kind of get everything at the right angle. To slip that onto there like that. And so we've got these little things that I showed you earlier. We're going to push that out. And down here we'll probably do the same thing. Push that out so that we can get that to slide up in there. Now, these things are threaded here, and this is threaded up here. So this, that, is going to go through this ring. It's going to come out through this side over here, and then it's going to thread into that like this. And if you have your wrench, which mine I think is over there, forget it. So if you have your wrench, you can put your wrench onto this. It goes down in that hexagon hole there, and you can tighten it on there with it. Now I'm not going to tighten this one too much because I want to get the bottom in also. So the bottom one comes in down here, and it would be easier if I turned this way. This will go through that like the other one did. It will turn here. Kind of like that other one, we'll have to use this wrench to turn that. I'm going to make sure you're seeing what I'm doing here. So what we have here is that the brake pads are on either side of the disc, and this caliper holds them in place, and the pressure of the brake line will push the caliper, squeeze it together like a couple of fingers, or a finger and a thumb, and they pinch the disc, and they're what makes it stop. So I'm going to tighten that one about the same way I did the other one. When I get it pretty close, I'll spin that around and get my hammer handle. I'm going to give the one up here a turn. Now that's in place. This turns between them. Now what I'm going to do, this is the brake line. I'm going to take this out here, and I may have some brake fluid that comes out when I do. I'm going to wipe this off real good, and I'm going to mash the brakes because I want fluid to come out of this. I'm going to put something down here to try to catch the fluid. That just pushes out any, in case there's anything in this line, I want to push it out. And then I'm just going to push this out. I'm going to wipe that off. And I'm going to take this out because this is where that line is going, right here. So this is going to come out, and two washers are going to come out with it. These two washers right here, that's all very important. So this is the old one, we'll just set it down here. Now I'm going to go in the car, I'm going to mash the brakes. That one still has one of those on it, and I'm going to take that off. There. I'm going to mash the brakes and see if any fluid comes out of that. Well, I'm not mashing it to see if fluid comes out, I'm mashing it to push out anything that might be in there. And I'll lean over the car and mash it with a stick. Okay, so I mashed it. There's fluid down there, so fluid came out. I have my thing wiped off, and I have my little washers removed from either side. And now I'm going to put this where it's going to go here. So this washer is going to go down. So I'm going to put this bolt. This bolt has a hole in it, and fluid passes through that hole. It goes into this bolt here on the side. If you see, there's a hole right there on the side. So this goes through that. And we make sure we keep the washers on both sides. And then I'm going to flip this up and down into this spot here where that goes. And we're going to find the opening, and we're going to slick that in there. We're going to take this little special brake wrench, which in this case is a 7/16. By the way, this is a GM caliper off of a mid-80s General Motors vehicle, Chevrolet, Oldsmobile, Pontiac, something like that. Now, the next thing